What the hell is that?
He only had a water bottle in his hand.
I have no idea what that was.
Look at that.
Take me back to old Yazoo. Everything up here is new. I can't stand it, just must land it.
Nomad Unknown is a solo female traveler who documents her car camping and hiking adventures across the country. Her content is raw, honest, and gives viewers a real look at the ups and downs of van life, solo treks, and living off the grid. Most of the time, it's peaceful, empowering, even calming. But this trip into the Wild Azalea Trail in Louisiana's Kisatchie National Forest took a dark turn she didn't expect.
This trail I'm out here hiking is in the Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, and it's called the Wild Azalea Trail, and it's arguably the best trail in Louisiana. So, pretty excited. It should also be the season for azaleas. So hopefully we'll get to see some beautiful azaleas in bloom and just restore my mental health.
She sets out like usual, excited for a simple overnight camp to reset her mental health. The area is quiet, the birds are singing, and the wild azaleas are blooming across the trail. Not long after hitting the path, she mentioned she ran into 3 young men who were backpacking, and a bit later, she saw another man, alone, with nothing but a water bottle in hand. At first glance, there was nothing too alarming about it, until she saw him again.
Getting started on the trail now. It's pretty quiet out here. It's lovely with the birds singing, and every now and then the wind comes through. When I was still getting ready at the trailhead, I encountered 3 young men who are out backpacking on this trail as well, and they let me know that a couple of them had done this trail before.
The first sighting was back at the trailhead, where she parked her car. She was still gathering her gear when he appeared, then immediately turned around and walked back onto the trail after seeing her. Later, she saw him coming up behind her on the trail, still carrying just the water bottle. No gear, no pack. He startled her. She stepped aside to let him pass. He gave a short, quiet, "Hi," then kept walking. As she hikes deeper in, she starts to piece things together. She's now seen the same man 4 separate times, and something about him feels off. Not just in how often he shows up, but in his energy, that gut feeling she couldn't shake.
You ever just come across somebody and the energy is just off? That is what's been happening to me a little bit today. I'm about 3 miles in and I found this spot that I would really love to camp. But just as I was getting here, I saw somebody that I've seen twice already today. The first time I saw him, he only had a water bottle in his hand, no backpack or anything. And I saw him at the trailhead where I parked my car as I was still pulling things out of my car. And at that point, as soon as he saw me, he sort of turned around and headed back onto the trail. I've seen him 4 times, I just realized. And then I saw him as I was hiking. I'd started with my pack up the trail, and he came from behind me, still with just the water bottle. And I didn't hear him at first, but it kind of startled me a little bit. So I moved over to let him go past, and that time was the first time I said, "Oh, hello." And he just said, "Hi." The next time I saw him, he was at a crossroads, and it looked like he was loading things into his car to leave. But I guess he was pulling a backpack out, because even though I didn't say anything to him at that point.
Eventually, she finds a nice, quiet clearing near a bridge where she considers setting up camp. It's a bit exposed, but peaceful. Then she glances across the trail and sees another spot that looks even better. More hidden, more secure, slightly off trail. As she moves toward it, something catches her eye. A trail camera. At first, she assumes it might belong to the Park Service or a nature enthusiast. But as she walks closer, it hits her. The trail cam isn't pointed at a game path or anything natural. It's aimed directly at the campsite she was about to set up in. Her backpack is still sitting there. The camera is focused squarely on it. She gets visibly uncomfortable. In her own words, strike 1, weird energy. Strike 2, trail cam pointed at the camp. I'm getting out before strike 3.
And I saw this area here, the clearing, and I thought, you know what, that's a bit more hidden from trail. I might feel more comfortable and secure over there, so I came over. Why is there a trail cam pointing to that campsite? I don't really know how those things work. Maybe it's not visible on the camera, but like, what else is it pointing at? Okay. What the heck? Like, here's the trail cam. What is it pointing at? Putting my camera right behind. My backpack is right there. That's where I was going to camp. Like, that's an established campsite. Looks like this one is too. But what the heck is going on here? First, weird energy. Second, a trail cam pointed at a campsite? Oh, I think 1 strike, 2 strike. I gotta get out of here before 3 strikes and I'm out.
It's at that moment that everything clicks. The man, the repeated appearances, the water bottle, the fact that he didn't have a backpack before, but later reappeared wearing one. Could he have followed her, watched where she stopped, and then placed the trail cam while she was filming wild azaleas nearby? It's hard to prove, but the timing and placement are too perfect to ignore. This wasn't just a case of bad vibes or paranoia. This was a woman alone in the woods, repeatedly encountering a man with no reason to be there, and finding her intended campsite under surveillance by someone who clearly knew where she was and where she planned to sleep.
Is it just me? Or is that weird? Trail cam. Right there. Camp. Right there. I'm standing at my pack and I am looking, and I cannot for the life of me see it over there. I mean, camo, right? Very effective. I'm out of here. So I went from campsite 1 over to campsite 2, just kind of an exploratory thing. And the reason it actually took me a little while to decide to go over there is because there were like clear obstructions in the path, like logs covering the path. A lot of time that might be set up by Forest Service to say like, this is not a trail, don't go down here. I just felt like I needed to go explore it. There was poison ivy I had to avoid. It's not too dense where I couldn't avoid it. And yeah, I had to go over a couple of logs and stuff like that. But it's almost like they don't want somebody going over there, right? But is it because they don't want somebody to discover the camera? Remember the guys I told you about that passed by the campsite earlier? They're matching, there's 4 men, they're all wearing matching red shirts.
She does the smart thing and packs up, turns around, and leaves. The story doesn't end with a confrontation, a chase, or a dramatic reveal. But that's what makes it even more unsettling. Because she caught it early. She listened to her gut. But what if she hadn't? What if she'd stayed just one more night? What did you think of this encounter? Let me know.
Before moving forward, I'll really appreciate if you would take some time to subscribe to the channel and join this amazing community. About 95% of you guys aren't subscribed. It's free Plus, I got a surprise for you all once we reach 50,000 subscribers. Now, back to the video.
In June of 2019, paranormal YouTuber Lou Rock decided to take on a solo challenge that would put him in the middle of a place shrouded in tragedy. The location was a stretch of woods off Fox Road in Massachusetts, known locally for one deeply disturbing reason. Nearly 3 decades earlier, a teenage girl named Tammy Lynns had gone missing there. Her remains were later found in the same woods, but her case has remained unsolved ever since. The goal of Lou's visit was to spend 30 minutes alone in the area, with nothing but a flashlight, a spirit box, and a camera to document anything unexplained. But by the end of it, he'd be running from something much more real.
What is up, guys? It is your boy Lou Rock, and I'm about to do something totally crazy. I'm here on Fox Road. You can see it right here. I'm here on Fox Road, and I am going to do a 30-minute challenge by myself in these woods. It's totally crazy. Every time I've come here with people, I've been scared out of my mind. So to do this all by myself is totally crazy. I got no weapons on me, no way to defend myself other than my hands. This is pretty stupid, but we're gonna do this. Here we go, guys. Here we go, Fox Road. Where her body was found. Oh, wow. Where's my little memorial thing to her? It's right here. What the heck? Dude. Oh, here it is. See, I left it standing up last time. I actually heard her ring that bell before doing a spirit box session. It was pretty crazy.
The session began with a quiet walk into the woods where Tammy's body had been discovered. Lou had previously set up a small memorial for her. Flowers, a bell, and a personal dedication. From the beginning, there was an underlying sense of unease. He began filming and attempted to make contact using his spirit box. At first, everything felt routine, typical of Lou's usual solo sessions. But not long after he turned off the lights to let the darkness fully surround him, the situation began to shift.
It's pretty crazy. Oh, whoa, the ants are all over the flower. Wonder why. Look at all those ants. It's not a real flower, guys, so it's weird that the ants are enjoying it so much. Tammy, can you ring this bell for me? I'm gonna turn off the lights, guys. Whoa, whoa! I can't believe it even lit up like that. Wow. Whoa. What the hell was that? Guys, I keep hearing something really close to me in the woods. I hear somebody, it sounds like somebody's walking around over there. What the hell is that? Oh my God, it's freaking me out, guys. I'm gonna head over to the path where, like a lot of kids, that's actually where the jogger was jogging when he found her body. So
He heard what he initially thought were small animal movements, twigs snapping, brush rustling, but they were too deliberate, too heavy to ignore. The footsteps didn't stay in one place. They moved in circles around him. Trying to hold his ground, Lou powered on his spirit box and began asking questions. The device responded almost immediately, producing names and fragments of sentences that grew louder and more aggressive with each passing minute. As the session escalated, the pressure of the environment became too much to ignore. The sounds around him weren't stopping. If anything, they were getting closer.
Guys, it's so overgrown. Guys, this is the area that I caught one of the best catches in my whole YouTube career. I caught a shadow figure in the daytime. Like right over there is where I was hearing, it sounded like somebody else was walking in the woods right when I was looking at the little shrine that I left her. I'm gonna pull out the spirit box, so just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Guys, I go into my bag and my box was already turned on. That's crazy. All right, we're gonna sit right here. Hello? What the hell? Tammy. Guys, I keep freaking hearing something walking over there. Hello?
Lou noticed a spray-painted message on a nearby tree. Odd, out-of-place graffiti in the middle of nowhere. The tree had clearly been marked recently. As he moved in to investigate, the footsteps returned, faster this time. He turned, scanning the woods with his flashlight, but there was no one in sight. Then, something new happened. A voice, clear and external, cut through the trees. It wasn't coming from his equipment. This wasn't EVP or static from a radio. It was someone nearby, speaking out loud in the darkness. That was the moment things turned.
Look at this tree right here. There's like writing on it. It actually says Autobots. Autobots. I'm trying to move the... Tammy, is there something about this tree that will help us find the killer? Whoa. What the hell was that? Guys, I don't know what the hell is going on. Whoa! Guys, I'm hearing stuff all around me. Tammy, can you come and talk with me, please? Guys, I'm hearing something over there in the woods. There's something over there, guys. Dude, oh my God. Guys, I'm here all by myself. I don't even know what the hell to do. Hello?
Lou realized that whatever was in the woods might not be paranormal. Someone was actually out there, lurking just beyond his flashlight's reach. He backed away slowly, trying to maintain calm, but then a loud sound rang through the air. It was a gunshot. Frozen, Lou didn't move. Then came another. He had no idea if the shots were meant to scare him, warn him, or something worse. Suddenly, the danger became tangible.
Guys, I keep hearing stuff in the freaking woods. I think my spirit box is... Oh my gosh. Hello? Tammy, say the names of the people that were with you. What the heck? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Guys, it sounded like something was running right behind me right there.
Are you okay?
It said I'll be okay. Are you kidding me? Guys, that doesn't look old. And that's not mine. Is there somebody out here? Guys, I am freaking out. There's somebody out here with me, I swear. I keep hearing footsteps all around me. Something just flew over to that area over there. Hello? What the was that?
While trying to escape, Lou caught a glimpse of a human figure, a silhouette that had been quietly watching. He called out, hoping to deter whoever it was, but the figure didn't answer. It moved. Closer. Panic took over. Lou rushed to collect his things, but his hands were shaking. He damaged his spirit box in the process, bending its antenna as he tried to flee. He kept the camera running, still trying to document what was happening, but the fear was written all over his face. He was no longer doing a paranormal experiment. He was trying to get out alive. As he reached the edge of the woods, things didn't calm down. A car had parked along the road, headlights off, its occupants unclear. Nearby, children's voices echoed faintly, laughing, yelling. Then, the sound of another gunshot cracked through the air.
I don't know what to do. I just heard a girl. I just heard a girl. I swear I just heard a girl, guys. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh guys. Oh my god. This is where the freaking gunshots went off. Oh my gosh, I gotta get down. I gotta get down. Holy crap. What the fuck? Alright, we're getting the hell out of here. Holy crap. Oh my god, there's somebody behind me, guys. Yo, you better stay away from me. Behind me, guys. Yo, you better stay away from me.
Lou didn't look back. He mentioned the presence he felt in the trees, the strange voices, and what sounded like a girl crying. The spirit box had confirmed names, some connected to Tammy, but in that moment, the ghost hunting took a backseat to survival. If someone really was out there with him, stalking, firing shots, watching from the shadows, then this wasn't just a haunted place. It was a hunting ground, and Lou may have unknowingly walked straight into it. In September 2021, outdoor explorer and YouTuber Erlo Brown, known for his solo hikes and nature videos, set out on a remote mountain trek deep in the forests of South Africa, where he was supposed to set up a trail camera and capture footage of the region's wildlife. With little human presence in the area, he was hopeful that something remarkable might wander past his lens. But what he experienced was far from what he expected. As he hiked further into the forest, Erlo pointed out how narrow and overgrown the trail was, hardly used, winding through a thick valley that offered only one visible way in or out. This, he noted, would make it a prime location for animal activity. His attention was focused on finding the right tree, something not too exposed, but with a clear view of the trail.
I think we have found a perfect place to place the trail camera. So this trail running along here is literally the only entrance and exit for this entire valley. And you can see it's very narrow, so it's very easy to funnel the animals in one spot. You know exactly where they'll be walking. It's very dense around here. So I guess animals can walk wherever they want. They don't need the trail. But I'm almost 100% convinced we'll catch some animals on this trail. Just look at how nice that is. I just have to find a good spot to place the camera. I'm not too concerned about people finding the camera. This trail isn't used a lot because it's just a one-way. It's not a through-way. So maybe a tree. I reckon this tree could maybe work, although that's going to be very obvious.
He stopped near one tree, debating whether it might be too obvious for a camera mount. As he looked for something better, the peaceful quiet of the forest was suddenly broken by a deep, low growl. It came from nearby, close enough to startle him mid-sentence. The sound wasn't something easily brushed off. It was loud, guttural, and powerful. It didn't resemble anything he'd heard in the wild before. Erlo froze, listening carefully. The forest around him had gone still.
I reckon this tree could maybe work, although that's going to be very obvious. Maybe if we find something that's a little bit further into the tree line, so it's better hidden, this could perhaps work. I have no idea what that was. That was not an animal. I think I'm gonna leave.
He couldn't identify the sound with certainty, but it didn't seem like a typical animal call. Later reflection suggested it might have been a leopard, a possibility that made the moment far more dangerous than it first appeared. Leopards in this region are stealth predators, known to stalk from trees and ambush without warning. With thick foliage above him and minimal visibility, he was suddenly vulnerable. Erlo didn't hesitate. He abandoned his plan to mount the camera and immediately left the forest. Whether it was a leopard or something else, he was being watched. What did you make of this footage? Let me know your thoughts on this. In September 2018, a YouTuber named Colin, known for his urban exploration channel, The Bearded Explorer, documented one of his most unsettling investigation or camping trip, whatever you want to call it. His destination was Westbury House, an abandoned 18th century mansion located in Hampshire, England. Once a private estate, the building had later been converted into a nursing home in the 1980s. But beneath its ornate history was a much darker story. After reports surfaced of serious mistreatment and abuse by staff members, the facility was permanently shut down in 2016. Since then, it has remained abandoned, with a growing reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the area. Colin, joined by his friend Liv, ventured into the mansion late at night. Like many of their explorations, the goal was to document the eerie atmosphere and uncover whatever secrets the building still held. The interior was exactly what one would expect of a long-forgotten estate. Piles of junk, old furniture, and signs of squatters scattered throughout the rooms. Despite the mess, the structure remained surprisingly intact. The first part of their exploration was uneventful, as they carefully walked through the empty halls, cataloging the decay. But it didn't take long before things began to shift.
How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Westbury House. And me and Liv decided to come here at night time because I told them all the interesting things that happened to me here the other day. We've decided to come here at night and just see if we can catch anything strange, paranormal. I'm not really the biggest believer in ghosts, but after my experience here the other day, it's left me with an open mind. So yeah, we've just come here to have a little wander around and just see if by chance we do see or catch anything on camera. Should we go upstairs first?
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, this staircase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little chandelier up here as well, that.
Brilliant.
Which way should we go? God. This is proper freaky. Let's go this way. That door there's locked, so we can't go any further now. We'll have to go up and over. I never noticed that last time.
While exploring one of the rooms, the pair heard the distinct sound of a xylophone being played, a sound they hadn't triggered themselves. When they entered the room, the xylophone lay undisturbed on a table. Earlier, Liv had struck a note on it and left the mallet positioned in the center. But now, the mallet had moved to a new position, an undeniable sign that someone or something had touched it while they were away. Although puzzled, they continued exploring. As they reached the upper floor, the unease grew. They began hearing more unexplained noises, knocks, thumps, and shifting sounds from other parts of the mansion. While still unaware of any direct presence, the tension was building.
Shh! Did you hear that? Where is I? Sounded like that fucking xylophone. Where was it? Right, just in this room here. Oh, wait a minute. It's a snooker table and a huge bookcase. God, it's so much different in here at night time. I know. It's not so bad in the daytime, though. Night time, though. Don't know why. Here is completely different. Cues there, look ready to go. This room's interesting, though. Look at all the stuff in there. And that fireplace as well. That fireplace is absolutely brilliant. What the fucking hell was that? What the f was that?
Later, while reviewing the footage, Colin discovered something chilling. At one point, as he entered a hallway, the camera captured what appeared to be a man's head peeking out of an open doorway. Neither Colin nor Liv had seen it during the exploration. The man hadn't made himself known. He was simply watching, silent and still. As the exploration continued, things escalated again. They were nearing the end of the hallway when a loud, aggressive bang came from behind a locked door, one they had just passed. They knew no one had entered that space before them. There were no other explorers inside. The door itself was inaccessible from their side. And that exact same noise, as Colin later revealed, matched one he had heard during a previous solo visit to the mansion.
Donald Duck. I keep hearing that banging. Can you hear that banging? I think it's outside. Oh, it's giving me the shits. I really don't like it in here. Have a look in that room at the end. See. That's what I fucking heard the other day. That's what I heard the other day. That door is locked. There's nothing out there. That is where we've just come from. That is the exact same noise I heard the other day. What that? Fucking hell, can you hear that?
At that point, both Colin and Liv were done. The series of strange noises, the moved xylophone mallet, the unidentified man peeking out from a doorway, and the final loud bang from a locked room made it clear they weren't alone. Speculation suggests the man may have been living inside the building. Perhaps he had played the xylophone to frighten them off, watched them from a doorway when that didn't work, and finally made noise from the locked room as a last resort. His attempts were subtle at first, but increasingly bold when he remained unseen. Colin and Liv made it out safely, but they never did figure out who the man was. or if he had been there the entire time. What did you think of this footage? Like always, let me know. In one of his most unsettling investigations to date, Franco from Franco TV returned to a remote cemetery he had explored before, this time for a solo nighttime session. Known for documenting paranormal activity and camping in abandoned and haunted locations, Franco often relies on tools like thermal cameras, K2 meters, and night vision. But in this case, even his equipment couldn't fully explain what he encountered. The focus of this visit was a child's tomb belonging to someone named Sebastian. Franco had previously visited the site and noted odd activity around it. As he approached the tomb again, he noticed something on his thermal camera, a dark, human-sized shape standing motionless near the tomb. Switching to his regular camera, the figure was completely invisible to the naked eye, yet on thermal, it remained fixed, as if silently observing. He advanced cautiously, trying to confirm what he was seeing, but as he got closer, the shape disappeared entirely. Still unsure if it had been a person, an animal, or something else, he continued his exploration of the cemetery.
What the fuck is that? Hold on, I'm not even at the freaking cemetery area, but I see something dark. Look at that. That's right next to the tomb of, what's his name? I keep wanting to say Ricardo, but, Sebastian. That's Sebastian's tomb. What the fuck is that? Let me make sure there's nothing else here. Hold on, I'm gonna switch to my regular camera, seeing what I could see. Give me 1 second. Right now I switched over to my regular camera, and this is where I see something dark just standing right in front of that kid's tomb. I forgot his name, Sebastian. But there's nothing over there. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom. Let me zoom in. There's nothing there.
Then, deep from within the shadows, he began to hear moaning sounds. It wasn't an animal call or the sound of wind. It was unmistakably human, yet there was no one around. He scanned the area with both his night vision and thermal imaging, capturing strange flickers and unexplained audio. As he moved toward the direction of the moaning, he spotted what he thought was a plant, only to realize moments later that it appeared to be something crouched in the darkness. After a few tense seconds, he confirmed it was indeed just a plant, but it was in the same exact area the noises had come from, raising his anxiety further.
And there's nothing there. Oh, that was creepy. I just heard a yell just now, or a moaning. I just heard it from over there on that side. It legit just sounded like a moan. I want to see if I see any shadows with that light. Turning on my IR. There we go. Oh my God. What the hell is that? I'm hoping that's a plant, but it looks like something's right over there. What the hell is that? Looks like something just sitting there. Oh, that's creepy. I think it's a plant. But this is literally where I just heard the moaning coming from. Oh, God.
The most intense part of the night came when he discovered that a tomb door, one that had always been shut on previous visits, was now open. The tomb belonged to someone named Irma, and as Franco cautiously stepped inside, the air changed. He immediately picked up on a strong scent, not of decay, but a distinct, almost personal smell. It reminded him of walking into a grandparent's home, as if someone had just been there moments ago. Then, the curtain inside the tomb moved. Not lightly, not subtly. It pulled back as if someone was peeking through it. Franco froze. There was no wind, no draft, and no visible cause. His flashlight revealed nothing behind the curtain. Still, the feeling of being watched intensified.
So I have been here like 1,000 times. Not really 1,000, but a couple of times. And I have never seen this door open. I don't know who opened this door, but this is the door of Irma. Whoa, what the f***? This shit just opened. I mean, the curtain just moved. I just heard something and the curtain moved. Holy shit. Something literally just moved the curtain to the right. Right over here. Before I go inside, I want to see if there's anything in the inside. Oh my god, that is creepy. I swear to god this whole curtain moved. I don't know what the f*** moved it. I'm not gonna lie, it smells like old person, like an older person smell. Like there's a person here.
Despite not capturing any further visual proof, the emotional impact of the moment was undeniable. He described the experience not just as frightening, but deeply unsettling on a personal level. Something about the scent, the energy, and the curtain's movement made it unlike any other tomb he'd ever explored. He mentioned that while viewers might find the curtain unsettling, for him it was the sense of presence, the overwhelming feeling that he had walked into a space that still belonged to someone.
I just heard something. I really wish I knew what the heck moved the curtain, though. That was interesting. Look at this. There's a lot of people in here. Alright. This room is the weirdest tomb I've ever seen. So I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I'm kind of like, I feel weird. I feel like I ran into somebody going into that room, just the way it felt like going in there. And I know to you guys probably the scariest part was a curtain moving, but for me the scariest part was the presence, or the it was just the scent of just going in there. Just felt like, it just felt weird. I don't even know how to explain it. That was the most surreal feeling that I've ever gotten going into a place like that. So even though I'm in another tomb right now, I'm still kind of like paranoid from that last tomb with the curtains moving. It's still kind of bothering me. I don't know, I just feel weird. Like weirded out about the whole thing. I've never had something take my vibe or my mood and just brought it down. But yeah, I just wanted to get the hell out of there as soon as I could.
Even after leaving the tomb, Franco admitted that his energy felt drained. He tried to continue filming, exploring nearby mausoleums and corridors, but the tone had shifted. He recounted that while reviewing footage from a previous visit, a viewer had spotted a white figure passing by the tomb door, a detail he missed in real time. When he reviewed the footage again, he saw it too, a fleeting white shape, moving just before the camera panned.
You're believe the temperature is dropping here, though, significantly. Sorry if you guys are hearing wind noise. I don't have my dead cat on my mic. But this is the other tomb. It's randomly getting super windy now. Hello? Do you mind if I come to potty? I just want to explore. Don't mean anything wrong or bad. Just exploring the location. My name is Frank. Is it okay that I can be in here? Oh, by the way, before I continue, the last video that I did here, I was pointing the light this way, and then right before I turned the camera over here, you could see what looks like someone passing by the door on my second video. Somebody pointed it out, and I went checking it out, and holy shit, you do. Like, I don't know if you could see it. Let me turn off my light. But right over here is where you see something white kind of go by. But I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't even see it while editing. Someone had let me know. But I'll show you a quick clip of it right now. Looks like something you would see in a horror movie. You have all the tombs here.
In the final moments of the video, Franco acknowledges that this investigation was different. The technical evidence, thermal anomalies, movement, unexplained sounds was compelling, but it was the emotional and sensory experience that lingered. The smell of a person, the feeling of eyes on him, and the unexplained movement of the curtain all pointed to something far more real than just a haunted location. Whether it was a spirit attached to the tomb, an echo of past energy, or something unexplainable altogether, Franco didn't get the answers he was looking for. What he did get was an experience that left him questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead, and knowing he had likely been in the presence of something that was still very much there. What did you think of this encounter? I'll let you draw your own conclusions. This video has been featured on quite a few other channels before, and if you've already seen it, we completely understand if you feel like skipping this. But whether it's your first time or your 10th, this one sticks with you. And since we've never covered it here before, we thought it was time. Because no matter how familiar the clip might be, what happens in it is genuinely terrifying. Lisa, the woman behind the channel, asleep 5 decades, lives full-time in her van and shares her experiences traveling and camping solo. Her videos often reflect a peaceful, self-sufficient lifestyle on the road, quiet mornings, nature walks, and the simple joy of off-grid living. But this particular night was different. It was the kind of night anyone who sleeps in their vehicle dreads. Around 4 a.m., Lisa was abruptly awakened by knocking, right next to her ear. It wasn't a distant sound or a rustle outside the van. It was deliberate, close, and unmistakably human.
Somebody's back here again. I hear footprints. Hello? How can I help you? It's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you?
Disoriented and frightened, she sat frozen, unsure of what to do. Then it happened again. A second knock, this time louder. She managed to call out, asking who was there, but there was no answer. For nearly 15 minutes, she sat in silence, hoping that whoever had knocked would walk away. And, for a while, it seemed like they did. But then the footsteps returned.
It's now 4:57, but at 4:37, so like 20 minutes ago, I was in a dead sleep, and I was woken from a knock, like right where my head is, ironically. So I was like frozen. I looked at the time, and it was very strange to me, like who would be knocking on the van at 4:30 in the morning. So by the second knock, I believe it was second, could be the third knock, and they would knock 3 times every time. I just mustered, hello? And no answer. The person was on a bike, like a pedal bike, like a 10-speed bike, a mountain bike or something, and they were up the drive. And so I just came and lied back down and trying to register what the hell just happened, who was that, what did they want, what were their intentions, and all I could think about is they were probably planning on robbing.
This time, Lisa was ready. She grabbed her phone and started recording. The sound of someone walking around the outside of her van was clear. She called out again, asking what they wanted, making it clear she didn't feel safe. Still, there was no response. As she moved toward the front of her van to peek outside, she noticed a vehicle in the distance, slowly backing away with its headlights on, just sitting there, as if watching. Shaken, she turned the camera to herself and began explaining what had just happened. But before she could finish her thoughts, she heard the footsteps again. For a third time, someone was circling her van. This time, she caught a glimpse of the person. They were on foot, ducking behind a tree, moving toward the same car that had backed away earlier. They stayed low, watching, and then got into the car, which again slowly retreated down the road. Whoever it was, they weren't just a random passerby. They had come back multiple times, checking the van, possibly trying to get a closer look. And now, they knew she was a woman alone inside.
So I just kind of like went back to sleep, or lied back down, went back to bed, I should say. And about 15 minutes later, I hear it again, like a knock on the side of my van again. How can I help you? And they say, I got a question for you. And I said, it's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. And so I quietly got up and I went to the front and I peeked out and parked way up on the drive. All I could see is like headlights, and then they backed out and went and left. So I'm not feeling so safe, you know. I just don't even know what to make of it. Like, what were they thinking? I do sleep with this beside my bed, and I never thought that I would have to pull it out or grab it, and I did. I hear footprints. Hear that? Yeah, somebody was just here again 3 times now.
Lisa reached for the weapon she kept by her bed. In the video, she doesn't show it, but you can hear the seriousness in her voice when she admits she never thought she'd need to use it until that night. The thought that someone may have returned not to steal, but for something far worse, becomes a chilling possibility.
I seen them walking and they hid behind the tree there, and then they went to a car, the same car that was here earlier. Well, that was back, and then it backed away and left again 3 times in one night. This time, they didn't knock though. They were just walking around. I could hear them walking around the van. But I'm not feeling so safe. Like, I'm just feeling like, I don't know.
As morning finally arrived and Lisa stepped outside, the evidence was still there. Clear footprints surrounded her van, some right near the doors, others in places she knew she never walked. Even more unsettling, 2 of her water bottles had been spilled, as if the person had searched around or tried to create a distraction. The prints were fresh, they weren't hers, and they weren't just passing by. They had circled, waited, watched. Many viewers believe the initial plan might have been a simple attempted theft, someone checking for valuables. But once the person heard Lisa's voice and realized she was a woman alone, they came back. Whether out of curiosity or with darker intentions, no one can say for sure. But the pattern of their behavior, returning multiple times, walking the perimeter, hiding behind trees, tells a story that feels a lot more disturbing than a petty theft. In the end, Lisa was safe. She stayed inside, alert and calm, and the person eventually left, but the moment lingered. Even in the van life community, where independence and self-reliance are celebrated, this was a reminder that sometimes it's not the wild you need to worry about, but the people who find you in it. For anyone who camps alone, this video is a worst-case scenario, and a reason to always trust your instincts.
As you can see, look at the footprints though. Look at that. That's massive. See that? Like, this worries me. Like, oh my God. Yeah, this has me really concerned. Nothing's here because it's all melted already, but yeah. So, oh, here we go. Here's a couple right here. There and there. Here's, there's my print again. Okay. There. I think they obviously knew that I was in there because of where they knocked. Like, they didn't knock on the, like, on the passenger door, the driver's door. They knocked like by the real well. So they know, or he knew, that I was living in there. So I feel like I'm being watched, and I just got to be a little bit more careful. But anyways, on that note, guys, I'm going to leave you with some peace, love, and light from my heart to yours.
With this final encounter, I'll take your leave. You know what to do, but if you don't, let me remind you again to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment about what you liked and didn't like about this video. We want to improve our video quality so you get the best videos possible. In about 3 seconds, there will be more disturbing videos on screen for you to watch. And with that, I'm out.